If you're having difficulties filling the tubes all the way to the filter and it's leaving about a 1/4 inch gap at the filter, possibly even tobacco pulling out of the end of the tube, that's going to be because of moisture in the tobacco. And what you're going to want to do is lay your tobacco out and let it dry. The drying time is going to be different based on geography of where you're located. But what you can do is you can lay tobacco out. You can use a newspaper or cookie sheet, whatever you prefer. But you can lay out 3 to 5 piles, kind of spread it thin, and let these dry for different time limits. So if you're experiencing the gap at the filter, you could take this pile, let it sit out for about 10-15 minutes. You could try this in the machine, see how that does. If you're still getting a gap at the filter, you want to wait another 10 to 15 minutes and then try your second pile. Keep in mind that you don't always have to turn the compaction knob up. If you're getting the gap at the filter, that means that the tobacco is too wet and just needs to be dried out more. Along with laying your tobacco out to dry, we do also offer a digital mini moisture meter that will help take a lot of the guesswork out of checking the tobacco moisture content. And the way you use this, you'd turn it on. You'd want to grab a handful of tobacco and squeeze it tight and stick the probes in. As you can see, this tobacco is 16%, and we're looking for 14% for the best use in the machine. So this tobacco is still a little wet. We're going to want to lay that out for a while and let it dry. Make sure we don't have any difficulties with the gap at the filter and tobacco hanging out of the end of the tube. One other thing to keep in mind is when you do use wet tobacco in the machine will over compact and all the lights will flash and go into the clean out mode. This is normal operation for the machine, being that it's putting too much strain on the motor, so it goes into the clean out mode. So if you see that happening a lot, then chances are you're using wet tobacco and it is over compacting and going into that clean out mode. Something else to watch for also, if you're getting a good cigarette from the filter up but the very tip is empty, about a 1/4 inch at the tip could be empty, and what you'd want to look at, you'd want to stop the machine, go through the clean out mode until the spoon comes out and stays out. You want to remove the tobacco from the spoon. Sometimes tobacco will build up on the very back of the spoon, and that will prevent the tobacco from filling the tip of the tube. So you clean that off, continue through your clean out cycle, and you'd be ready to make cigarettes again.